Hello and welcome to an India First special that comes to you from South Block in New Delhi. I'm Gaurav Sawant. Two Sufi clerics from India are missing in Pakistan for the past 48 hours. Minister for External Affairs Sushma Swaraj is personally monitoring developments in Pakistan. She's in touch with Indian High Commission in Islamabad. Indian authorities are in touch with Pakistan, and the latest that we are getting to you, news just coming in, Pakistan has now said that the two clerics who are missing, they may be in their custody. Pakistan is brazenly saying it's the clerics who did not inform them about their arrival in Karachi. Sources are now telling India Today that Pakistan's intelligence agencies may be responsible for the disappearance of the two Indian Sufi clerics. Inspector General of Sindh A.D. Khwaja has said both the clerics went missing from Karachi airport and that the Sindh police was not informed about their arrival. He said, and I quote, "It's a normal procedure for Indian citizens to inform special branch of police about their arrival plans, but they did," unquote. The families of the two Sufi clerics in India are panicking. They're in touch with the Ministry of External Affairs. I'm Gaurav Sawant. We will get you the latest on that story. But as always, let's begin our top focus story on India First. Two missing Sufi clerics in Pakistan. Now they travelled from India to Pakistan as they routinely do and as they regularly do. Asif Nizami and Nazim Nizami both travelled from Hazrat Nizamuddin Dargah in Delhi. One was to stop at Lahore, the second was to go to Karachi. Now that is where conflicting information is coming out. Was one of the two deplaned in Lahore, the other allowed to proceed to Karachi and then deplaned? Because both are now missing. Initially, Government of Pakistan kept silent. Government of India has now officially raised this issue with the Government of Pakistan, and now there are indications that they may have been detained by intelligence agencies in Pakistan. Now there are indications for want of documents or improper documentation, they may have been detained, but there is still no clarity on the subject. Sources in Government of India say they had been in Pakistan for some time. Why is it that the issue of documentation came up in internal Pakistan travel and not when they entered Pakistan? There have been a series of attacks on Sufis in Pakistan and there is concern in their families. Is this linked to it? But what is extremely alarming is the fact that two of them went missing from high security airports in Lahore and Karachi. Let's get you reactions that are coming in. Families of Nazim Nizami and Asif Nizami are panicking. India Today's Shalini Lobo spoke to the cleric's son. He's in touch with Government of India. They're also in touch with relatives and friends in Pakistan. But unfortunately, so far, there's no positive news. Let's quickly listen in.
सर ये पाकिस्तान का प्लान कैसे बना और क्या ये पहली ट्रिप थे आपके फादर के जो पाकिस्तान में?
नहीं, मेरे फादर जो हैं 30 इयर्स के बाद गए हैं पाकिस्तान और वो उनकी बड़ी बहन रहती हैं 90 इयर्स ओल्ड है, उनसे मिलने। और दूसरा हज़रत बाबा फरीद का मज़ार है, हज़रत निज़ामुद्दौला बाबा के जो गुरु हैं लाहौर में, और दाता साहब का मज़ार है, वहाँ पे ये दो मोटिव लेके गए थे दर्शन करने के लिए और बहन से मिलने।
आपके कज़न भी थे उनके साथ नाजिम अली निज़ामी, क्या दोनों कराची में आ गए या नजीम लाहौर में रोक दिया गया?
नहीं, वो जब वापस लाहौर से दर्शन करके आ रहे थे तो नाजिम निज़ामी साहब को लाहौर में रोका गया कि आपसे पूछताछ करनी है, और फादर को जाने दिया आप जाइए। तो मगर वो जब कराची एयरपोर्ट पर पहुंचे तो उतरने के बाद उनका भी पता नहीं है कुछ कि कहाँ है वो।
आपको कैसे पता है कि वो कराची एयरपोर्ट पहुंच गए थे?
वहाँ के जो लोकल लोग हैं, जो मेरे फादर के जो बहन के बेटे हैं, उन्होंने उनको कॉल किया था फ्लाइट से, जब कि मैं फ्लाइट पहुँच गया है और मैं आ रहा हूँ, आप लेने आ जाएं मुझे। तो उन्होंने बोला कि हम बाहर ही खड़े हैं, आप आइए बाहर। तो मगर वो बाहर नहीं निकले।
और आपने कब बात की आपके फादर से?
मेरी तो जब लाहौर गए हैं वो 13 तारीख को, उससे पहले ही बात हुई थी, उसके बाद मेरी कोई बात नहीं हुई।
और क्या गवर्नमेंट अब सपोर्ट है? आप क्या नेसेसरी एक्शन वो ले रहे हैं?
इंडियन गवर्नमेंट तो पूरी सपोर्ट कर रही है, फॉरेन अफेयर्स वाले पूरी सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं। वहाँ इंडियन हाई कमीशन है इस्लामाबाद में, वहाँ के फर्स्ट सेक्रेटरी हैं डॉक्टर पीयूष, उनका 4-5 दफ़ा मेरे पास कॉल आया, वो भी पूरी मदद कर रहे हैं और उनसे टच में है वहाँ की मिनिस्ट्री से पाकिस्तान की।
कल रात आप राजनाथ सिंह जी से बात करने की कोशिश कर रहे थे, क्या मुलाकात हुई?
नहीं, उनसे मुलाकात नहीं हो पाई, टाइम नहीं मिला हमें।
The situation is being closely monitored by Government of India, Ministry of External Affairs in Delhi and the Indian High Commission in Islamabad. Unfortunately, there is no clarity from the Pakistani side, no official word yet. The information that's filtering out is from the Police Commissioner of Sindh. Senior police officers in Sindh seem to be indicating that proper documentation of papers was the issue, but there also information is filtering out in bits and pieces. Lots of political reactions coming in. Let's listen in.
The response from there.
Pakistan is such a secretive state. Is this the actions of Pakistan's deep state, and if so, why? Government of India sources tell India today they're waiting for more clarity. They're waiting to hear from the government of Pakistan, because it remains very crucial at this stage to know that both of them went missing from the airports, and anti-national elements or terrorists, can they enter airports and kidnap people, or is this the job of Pakistan's deep state for some motive? More clarity is expected, but let's now get you some more details in this case. Now, both Asif Nizami and Nazim Nizami, they left India on the 8th of March. That's when they'd reached Pakistan. Now, on the 15th of March, both visited Data Darbar Shrine in Lahore. Again, on the 15th of March, Nazim Nizami went missing from the Lahore airport. Again, on the 15th of March, 80-year-old Asif Nizami went missing from the Karachi airport. And this is where it becomes extremely crucial. On the 16th of March, Pakistan's Foreign Office confirmed that both the clerics are missing, but they didn't say where they were or how they went missing from the high security airports in Lahore and in Karachi. Then again, on the 17th of March, External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj asked Pakistan to assist in search operations. Later, it appears this could be the actions of Pakistan's deep state. But we are still waiting for more details. We're still waiting to hear from government of Pakistan on this issue. I want to quickly cut across to India today's Kaswar Klasra, who joins us live from Pakistan. I also want to go across to my colleague Anandya Banerjee, joining us in Delhi. Kaswar, any details, any information whatsoever where the two could be?
Gaurav, this is still a mystery. As you have rightly pointed out, the mystery folds. How did they disappear? And no official word from Pakistan's Foreign Office, or Pakistan's government, or Pakistan's military establishment so far. The details what we are getting is coming from two sides. First, our sources, and other is the police commissioner of Sindh Police, Mr. A.D. Khaja, who is the senior police official of Sindh Police. He, in the afternoon, while addressing a huge gathering in Sindh, he admitted that the both went missing from Karachi airport. But on the other side, what important is that he clarifies that there is a normal procedure for the Indian national to get registered with Pakistan, the police special branch to turn up there at their offices and reveal their traveling plans. So in this case, in the case of two Sufis to the Indian national traveling to Pakistan, the Karachi police were completely in the dark and they didn't know about their traveling plans. And so it means...
So they didn't know about their traveling plans. Anandyo, were they in touch with their families when they were in Pakistan? When was the last that the families spoke to them, heard from them? And now what are relatives in Pakistan, friends in Pakistan telling the families here?
Well, they were very much in touch with the families and you know what, I mean, regardless of the fact that whatever the Pakistan government may be claiming, the only formal word we have heard is from the senior police official from Mr. Khwaja and nothing else. Even as we speak, very senior sources within the Ministry of External Affairs told India today that there's no reciprocation. They're still awaiting a formal word from the Foreign Office of Pakistan after Sushma Swaraj herself raised the matter with Pakistan Foreign Office. So very clearly there's no ward. I mean, the ward mystery probably summarizes the whole issue. But there's a bigger picture before I conclude. As you rightly mentioned, Gaurav, that we all know that Pakistan's animosity towards the Sufi school of thought, and probably that's where the larger danger is, and that's where the larger danger lurks. And probably that's why this family is extremely concerned.
Anandyo, they've traveled to Pakistan before. Of course, the father traveled to Pakistan 30 years earlier, but relatives traveling to Pakistan, have they faced problems in Pakistan earlier? Is this the first time they came across something like this?
Gaurav, we've spoken to the family. My colleague Shalini spoke to the family at large, and they have said that expressed this fact over and over again, that they have travelled quite extensively Pakistan and they haven't faced such problem before. But considering the fact that there has been a growing radicalization within Pakistan in this regime, and particularly in the last 1 decade, we have seen how things have panned out, and particularly in the last 1.5 years or 2 years, we have seen how Indo-Pakistan relation has worsened. We have seen multiple LOC violations every day. So considering those aspects, and also the growing animosity between towards the Sufi school of thought, which is quite known to be a very liberal school of thought in Islam, that is where there's the Ministry of External Affairs, also the Ministry of Home Affairs, as well as the family members of Recover has told us they're concerned about, because that's where the Sufi Islam of thought is about a school of thought that embraces all, or it's an inclusive school of thought, and that's what Pakistan doesn't believe in. So clearly there's a lot of conflicting reports, there's a lot of mystery around, and no formal word from Pakistan Foreign Office, even as we speak, from outside the MEA.
Kaswar Klasra in Pakistan and Anandyo Banerjee in Delhi. Keep tracking that story, gentlemen. I will come back to you for more. The families in India are panicking also because Sufis have repeatedly been under attack in Pakistan. We all remember this recent incident of the attack at the shrine of Shahbaz Mast Qalandar. That was one attack. Now this was on the 16th of February. Sufi shrine was attacked in Sindh. This suicide attack at Lal Shahbaz Qalandar left at least 75 dead and 100 plus people were injured. But this wasn't the only attack this year. On the 14th of March, a prominent Sufi leader's daughter was murdered in Bangladesh, and that shows how the region has been unsafe for the Sufis. Farhad Hussein's daughter's throat was slit in Bangladesh. Over a dozen Sufi Muslims have been killed since 2013. But even before that, on the 22nd of June in 2016, a very famous Sufi Qawwal, Amjad Sabri, was gunned down in Karachi. Now, the assailants fired at Amjad Sabri's vehicle at that point of time. We're shifting focus to an India First special report. India Today highlighted the plight of Kashmir's Taj, or India's kickboxing sensation, Tajamul Islam, and now the Union Sports Minister Vijay Goel, he's reacted to the story. Vijay Goel told India Today he's written a letter to the Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister Mehbooba Mufti, urging her to put facilities in place. 200 crore rupees earmarked for sports facilities in Jammu and Kashmir, and the central government has urged the state government to speed up the spending of that money effectively so that the youth in Kashmir can benefit from it. This is an India Today impact story.
An 8-year-old kickboxing champion has made a video and showed the state of the state, how they do not have enough facilities.
आपको मालूम ही होना चाहिए कि मैंने कल ही जम्मू कश्मीर के मुख्यमंत्री को पत्र लिख दिया है इस बात के लिए कि किक्स बॉक्सिंग की जो चैंपियन है 8 साल की लड़की, उसके लिए सुविधाएं दें। और हमने जो जम्मू कश्मीर को पैकेज दिया था 200 करोड़ का था, उसमें से जो मल्टी कॉम्प्लेक्स है उसको बुक किया जा सकता है। दूसरा मैंने ये भी कहा अगर इस खिलाड़ी को कोई और भी सुविधा चाहिए तो हमारा मंत्रालय उसको सुविधा देगा। ऐसा नहीं है, अभी तक मेरे पास तो नहीं आया था, उन्होंने स्टेट गवर्नमेंट से कहा है और वो स्टेट गवर्नमेंट के चीफ मिनिस्टर से मिली भी थी, तो मैं समझता हूँ कि वो मामला हल हो जाएगा जी।
So will you see into the other states also where things are not really progressing?
ऐसे कोने कोने के अंदर नहीं होता, मतलब किसी भी खिलाड़ी को कोई भी वो सीधा मंत्री से मिल
So
सकता है।
the state finance minister that she has been guided by
स्पोर्ट्स जो है, स्पोर्ट्स स्टेट सब्जेक्ट है, तो ये राज्यों को देखना है।
India today hit out at Pakistan for illegally trying to legitimize its control over northern areas Gilgit and Baltistan and declare it its fifth province. India today said entire Jammu and Kashmir is an integral part of India, including Pakistan occupied Kashmir and the Gilgit Baltistan areas that Pakistan calls its northern areas. Now, why is Pakistan attempting to do this? Pakistan is desperately trying to get $46 billion from China for the China-Pakistan economic corridor that will run through Gilgit and Baltistan. India has once again highlighted Pakistan's human rights violations in this Shia-dominated area. India is also seeking a clarification from China on this subject. China, of course, has maintained silence for now, insisting that its investments will not affect China's stand on Kashmir. But India will continue to hit out at Pakistan and hard on the issue of Gilgit and Baltistan.
All the issues between India and Pakistan, especially with regard to Jammu and Kashmir, it's decided, it's agreed upon that it should be decided bilaterally. They are pushing terrorists within the territory of Jammu and Kashmir, and they are creating violence here. On the other hand, they are doing such things. It's not going to resolve the issue. It's going to further precipitate the relations and the issues and situation, and it will definitely have a bad impact on the Indo-Pak relations.
I would like to hear the reaction of the Ministry of External Affairs. They must let us know what the government of India feels about this and what our reaction will be. More and more it seems that Pakistan is acting entirely on the behest of China. The China-Pakistan economic corridor has become for Pakistan as a subsidiary state through which it passes almost an accessory to Chinese ambitions in this area.
The entire state of Jammu and Kashmir is an integral part, has been an integral part, and will be an integral part of India. And no attempt, no unilateral attempt or a step to change that or attempt to change that would have any legal basis whatsoever. And of course, it will be entirely unacceptable.
Pakistan is curiously silent on this issue now after that one statement that was made. We will continue to track developments of the story very closely, but that is all that I have time for on this India First special. Many thanks for watching. News and updates continue on India Today. Stay with us.